Now that your group has completed their individual profession research, it's time to start building your web page. Up at the top of the web page information page, there is a link to an example web page, a link to Grammarly. I would like you to check your grammar. Grammar does matter in scientific writing. We'll be building the sites using Google Sites. The web page is a group project. This means that every member of your group will be receiving the same grade, which means that everybody's research does need to be complete to add in their information. I would also point out that there is a link here to the project checklist. If you click on that, it's going to bring you to this page here. These are all the different components that need to be included. So go through the checklist, put an X in the box for each item that is complete and added into your web page. There is also a checklist for the persuasive recovery plan, which is going to also be a part of the web page. Okay, so your web page needs to be 6 pages in total. You're going to have a home page that includes responses to the standards, a zoologist page, ecologist page, and conservationist page that has all of your project individual research. You'll have a persuasive recovery plan, which is linked out into another page that has the full information for the persuasive recovery plan, and a page for your resources. These are the websites that you use to gather your information. The individual profession pages. The information on your individual profession pages should be more than just a copy and pasting of your research. This needs to be a full explanation and presented in paragraph format that explains each research question in detail. Refer to the example web pages for examples. Some other items that need to be included within the professional pages is the ecologist needs 2 items added in. They need to create an actual food web and have geographic distribution. So they're creating a food web that looks something like this, and they have a geographic distribution map with an explanation of where the organism lives. Conservationist needs to have a timeline of endangerment. This is listing out what years the assessment was done and the level the assessment was determined for that year. This information can be found on IUCN Red List. The zoologist needs to have anatomy and adaptations. So it's going to have an anatomy diagram, and it's going to be discussing all of the different adaptations that your organism has developed. Okay, the home page needs to address these 4 standards. Use data to indicate how resource availability affects populations of organisms in an ecosystem. It gives you an I can statement. I can use data to show how resource availability affects my endangered species population within an ecosystem. If you add in a resource that's critical, will the population increase or decrease? Okay, there are the additional 3 here, and let's take a look at what that looks like on the example web page. So on their homepage, they have the standard written above, and then they have their response. This is a scientific explanation, which means that it definitely needs to be set up in the CER format, claim evidence and reasoning, and it needs to be more than just 1 or 2 sentences. This is a full explanation detailing how using data indicates how resource availability affects populations of organisms within that ecosystem. So they have their first standard, second, third, and fourth. Okay, so that's the home page. Let's take a look at what the zoologist page looks like. It has the anatomy, describes it in detail, physical adaptations, describes it in detail, behavioral adaptations, and reproduction, all in great detail. Ecologist. This is more than just copying and pasting your research pages. Reasons for endangerment, going into great detail for each one. Timeline of endangerment, human importance, government interventions, population with a population graph, and then a resource page. Shows all the websites that they used for their research and for their project. Your group will have one additional page, which is going to be the recovery plan, which I'll go into more detail in the next video.